guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Emily from Kyuujin, and today we are back at you guys with Band of Brothers, episode 5.
CROSSROADS. So last episode, Replacement, was about how Easy Company had to, welcome in green soldiers, so people who had not gone through D-Day with them, and they were new to this, and some of the guys reacted badly to them, and we followed especially Bull, played by the guy who plays Abraham in Walking Dead, who instead of just antagonizing the new ones, he helped them out, gave them tips. He ended up being alone in a town surrounded by enemy, and we freaked out. We really thought he was a goner, but he managed. He was saved. He left the town after meeting a couple civilians who saw him kill one of the Germans, which fucking sucked. But he's fine, and now we're moving on. Next mission.
True.
Yeah. Oh, Sobol is back as well.
As a supply officer, but still is back.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with them. But yeah, this is where we are, so let's jump in this episode and see what happens next. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these episodes, and check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions.
Alright, let's go! Why do you think the CROSSROADS would mean?
I don't know. A decision. Usually CROSSROADS is for decisions to take, and...
If you're a leader, you lead the way. Not just on the easy ones, you take the tough ones too.
It's about choice.
The leader has to understand the people that are under him, understand their needs, their desires, or how they think a little bit.
Seemed like he always made the right decisions along the way. Like some of the officers, I don't think I would follow them in the water. He was one of the best.
Not Sobol. Sobol don't follow him into water.
He never thought of not being first, sending somebody in his place.
That's a good leader.
Winters?
I don't know how he survived.
Nobody's saying.
No, but are you talking about Winters, you think?
But he did.
I think so.
I would not want to be in a leadership position,
No, me
guys.
neither. If they're talking about about Winters, does that mean he survives? He's fine?
I hope. He's
We had theories he might have been one of the ones talking in the beginning.
Winters is like my golden boy. I don't want him to die. Oh shit, love it.
The shot?
Yep.
We're thinking they talk about Winters, but there are other leaders.
Yeah. But I mean, you could say that Bull was the type of leader for the other episode.
No. They're meaning an officer.
Yes, the British lost 8,000 men when Market Garden fell on its ass. Colonel Dobie has been tasked with coordinating some kind of rescue operation for the Red Devils who were trapped when Arnhem fell.
Pick a team from Easy Company and get them back across the Rhine as fast as possible.
Canadian engineers have supplied 6 boats. The rendezvous point is isolated and landable. I swam it
I
myself.
heard Canadian, I just...
Getting worse. Sir, I haven't seen your endorsement in the Market Garden after action report, or the updated battalion TO&E. Why is that? I have them in CP-1300, sir.
Dick,
Sir.
still waiting to write citations on that 5 October operation. I need your report.
The report, yes, sir.
Light a fire under it, Dick.
Sir.
Why is he so late on all the reports?
You got shit to do?
True. They have been, going everywhere doing a lot of shit. Oh, really, really good transitions here.
Got anything on this?
No. It's all quiet.
We got penetration!
All right, get him on the table.
Where was it? CROSSROADS, where the road crosses the dike. Send a runner for Lieutenant Welsh. Lift and assemble me a squad.
Yes, sir. First squad on your feet!
I love
it's
how
interesting how they did it this episode.
It did this episode, yeah.
It's an episode centered around his leadership and his job as an officer, doing those reports, remembering the details of all the shit that went on. It's part of his job, so I kind of like that they showed both sides. So going through this, making the decisions, and then the reflection after when you write how things happen.
Where the hell are they shooting? What's down that road?
Regimental headquarters, but that's 3 miles away. Why are they giving away their position?
Could have seen something.
Or maybe they're just trying to be bait.
Yeah,
Keeping the attention on them and others are going on the side or something,
He'd be wondering, what's going on, what do I do, and everyone is following him, so he's got to come up with plans and make them work for their sake.
Yeah, you don't have your life, but you got your man's life on the line. And you need to keep, if possible,
But then
everyone
again,
alive also.
I think they said he was a coach, right? Basketball team or something, he was a coach. If he was, I feel like this could have helped how he treated and handled the team here. The stress is not the same, but it's still like you gotta stay focused and, you know, wonder about every one of them, where to put them, how to react, use their strengths the right way.
First on the right, third on the right, nail the machine gun, second on the left.
Put them in a specific place. Everyone knows what to do. So every enemy is accounted for. Smooth. Give him no time to retaliate. Just fucking shoot. Yeah. But we already knew he was good at coming up with plans.
How many crowds left up there? I don't know. We got 7 in one blow. Go get that machine gun on the right flank. Go! Push it, sir! Fuck! Toughness down!
I'll say it again. It's a really, really good idea they had. The sound of the machine reflecting the sound of the gunshots.
They're behind a solid roadway embankment. We're in a ditch. They can outflank us along the dike and catch us out here as soon as they figure that out.
Act fast.
So how many crowds we talking about?
Well, there's a ferry crossing here, so it could be a whole battalion as far as I know.
What are your orders?
Give him a minute.
Let me think this through.
Talbot, you'll take 10 men along the dike. Peacock, you'll take 10 men along the left flank. Questions? Go.
French-Canadian TV show. Questions? Action. And like beyond the skills on the field, he also has to remember, in order to do good reports and, you know, do his job as an officer after the whole fight, he's got to remember who did what, who got hurt, like the names of everyone. Like he's got to be in touch with every single one of them, be everywhere at the same time.
Dick, you know, that's not literature. You just keep it simple.
He wants to tell it like it is.
Say we a lot.
Thanks for the tip.
But like, see, that's what I talked about. Like remembering every name, who did what, just really put it in like it happened. I feel like it's.
And it shows that he cares about his man.
Yeah, it's a way to give them credit for what they did. Could be that it's because we love him, that everything he does just makes me proud, but like this really, like, it's one of the things that he's doing that makes me love him more. He's just fucking running alone. I'm pretty sure they talked about him in the beginning. Like they said, he was
No, and no way he would have thought not going first.
This is the mark of a good leader, though. I always, you know, when I think about leadership and how I prefer leaders over bosses, I think that a leader should never ask something of someone that he's not willing to do himself. He's alone, man! God damn, he's something else. He is putting himself literally on the spot in danger to get their attention so they can just fucking surprise them. What up? What up?
It's a whole other company!
One at a time.
They might not have enough ammunition for all of them.
Polish. This in Polish? What you saying? They're Polish. Don't you believe it? There ain't no Poles in the SS.
But Loki, who knows, like, that made me think of the scene in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Like apparently they meet enemies one time and they're saying something they don't understand, so they're just like shooting them, but what they were saying was that they were forced to be there and fight for the Germans.
Yeah.
So who knows, like, we don't know.
Get out there where you can spot to follow those rounds. Go.
He's gonna go.
He's down. Come on, help me.
Kind of like last episode, someone's gotta go in the open to get him out of there. If you don't, he's gonna die. My fucking kid, man.
Jesus, Captain. They're SS.
SS maybe, but fucking young.
I want you to take these prisoners back to Battalion CP. Get yourself cleaned up. Come on, Kraut boys. Joe? Yeah. Drop your ammo.
You kidding me? What are you doing?
Give me your weapon.
Yeah.
You have 1 round. Johnny, how many prisoners do we have?
Got 11 right now, sir.
You drop a prisoner, the rest will jump you. I want all prisoners back at Battalion CP alive.
Nice.
He knows him. Good move.
We had him on the run. Then they hit us with their 88 zeroed in on this crossroad. And we were lucky, though. Only 22 wounded.
Lucky.
No one dead on our side?
You had a good plan, a good captain. Yes, there's a lot of luck also.
When
But-
you're in a fight, everything relies on luck.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
We said it like it's like 3/4 luck and 1/4 skill. But when you take that skill and you make sure that there's, you know, you don't leave things up to chance as much as possible. You may be that's when you may be lucky that things might go exactly as you plan and things are smooth.
One killed.
Who?
Dukeman.
Fuck yeah.
You're looking at 2 full companies of SS out there. About 50 dead, probably another 100
He's
wounded.
seeing the wounded and he's seeing the dead.
That's not bad for Dukeman.
He's still dead.
You got a drink of water.
That's another thing, like the guy saying, oh, we were lucky, but you still lost someone and others were still wounded. I don't think he ever sees it as a success if he loses one guy.
It's like you're saying it's okay to lose a few if you can save the many, but you're still gonna lose people.
3rd Battalion got the hell beat out of him. Ollie Horton was killed. He was organizing the defense. How'd you feel about handling the battalion? Moving you up to Executive Officer, 2nd Battalion.
He deserves
Strader
it,
is-
but poor guy.
Well, he could use some help. You're a solid tactician and a good leader.
Oh
Don't worry
yeah.
about administration.
I say poor guy because his stress level just went.
Who do you think will be taking over easy, sir?
Moose Heiliger can command Easy Company.
Lieutenant Heiliger would be my choice, sir.
Good.
That also means he's leaving his guys.
No. I mean, good job for you for moving up, but it's true.
All that for 2 pages, huh?
So that means that's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it is. You want a job?
I think somebody wishes he were back in charge of Easy Company, Moose.
Are you two just here to gloat?
Moose is gonna lead his first mission as company commander. I thought I might give you the heads up.
I felt like he was a bit like down when in the beginning when he talked and gave orders and shit. Maybe that's why, because he feels like he should have been the one to do what they ordered him.
Know how many times you want to cross a river?
3 trips.
Speed is the key. What time's jump off?
We'll be at the far side of the Rhine at 0100.
Keep moving and lead the way.
Dick, Easy's in good hands.
He's still like, okay,
But those
do
are-
this like that. I know
Those
it's
are
his
his
guys.
men.
Well, hang tough.
I could say the same to you.
He learned all their names. He spent time with them. He cares about them. To just let them go and not be
True.
there.
Are we sure on the intelligence of this? Is Easy walking into another company of Germans no one can see?
Why don't we ask Moose when he gets back?
That's why you don't want to know.
Like I said, they were lucky before, but that's because he's doing everything in his power to save them.
Maybe Moose are gonna do the same.
Yeah, but he doesn't know.
That's the thing.
I think he's gonna eat at him until he says something.
I mean, he's been in charge of these guys since D-Day.
Yeah. It's a feeling that if you're not there to take charge, something bad will happen.
Yeah.
Welcome back, sir. Good to be back. Never thought I'd be so glad to see a bloody Yank.
You're sure, Colonel?
I'll be back shortly.
I really hope that he pulls through, please. For his sake also.
But it's not just about him, it's about everyone who's under him too.
Moose Heiliger. God bless you, my man.
Like he wishes he was there.
And here we all are.
Well, let's go.
Moose Heiliger and the American 101st have done the Red Devils a great service.
Okay. Nice.
To Easy Company, victory, and Kurahi!
Kurahi.
He's so proud.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The stress can now go a little bit down.
Train your new platoon leaders. Trust your non-coms.
Halt! It's Moose!
Fucking hell.
You're shitting me?
Oh my God. Send for Lieutenant Wells. Hey, stay away, Comby Moose here. Look at my eyes.
Send for Lieutenant Wells now!
Okay.
What the fuck?
It's an error, we said it before, they are stressed, they don't see shit.
I know.
And sometimes you might feel that if you don't shoot first, you'll get shot. But stuff like that could happen. And he was giving him advice about how to, help the team. Just,
Sir, there's a Sergeant Garnier here to see you.
Look what the train brought in.
Hey, welcome back, Bill. Jesus, it's true. I never thought I'd see you behind a desk, sir. Got a letter for you here from Moose. It's recovering, but it's gonna be a long
But he's recovering, that's what we want to hear.
Thank you.
So I hear there's Well, I guess now's as good a time.
Plenty. What's that, a piece of paper? I don't want to see another piece of paper.
General Taylor's contact.
Yeah, you should have said no.
You, my friend, are headed to Paris.
City of light.
It's been decided that you need a little dose of civilization.
He's been locked up in his office for too long. And he probably hates it. It is an honor to be, you know, sent up and stuff and get bigger responsibilities, but I think he wishes he could
wants to be with
stay
his
in.
guy.
Yeah. Yay, civilization. You know what we did? We had to eat spaghetti. It fucking sucked. You left, but you never left. Oh, man.
Monsieur, c'est le terminus. Le train s'arrête ici, on doit tous descendre.
I love it. And they used actual French people to speak French.
Yeah.
Poor guy, man.
It was then after the Vietnam War that people really considered the effect of traumatic PTSD, right?
PTSD did not exist before.
It's sad because for that kid, that guy is like
a hero.
Like he looked up to him, and for
maybe I wish I could.
Yeah,
be
but
like
for
that.
Winter, it's just a reminder of what went through.
Kids your age who actually go there and do what you're thinking about, like end up dead. I have to kill them, or they have, you know, they have to kill us. He did what he had to do because if he had not done that, his guys might have died. It's a tough choice. It's crossroads. What do? He saved his guys, but now he's got to live with that. And like I said, he left, but he's never. I'm pretty sure these guys are never gonna leave. There's always a part of them that's gonna stay there.
You can take the man away from the war, but not the war away from the man, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
How are you feeling? The wounds healed?
He's really into the movie.
I've seen this before. Hey, is that any good?
It's a real corker.
Is he invented the movie or is he on something?
No, it's not. Maybe he wasn't even concentrating on the movie.
True. Could be that also.
What's up?
Elements of the 1st and the 6th SS Panzer Division have broken through in the Ardennes forest. All officers report to respective HQs. All passes are cancelled.
Seriously, this sucks for these guys. You just want to have one break.
We rarely see them having a break. Every time they imply that they're about to have a break, it's always whenever like someone's gonna show up. And
But the ones who take the breaks are the higher ups, the ones who got promoted, you know?
well, no, you do get passes, like you do get free time, but they don't show that to us.
No.
Sir, we have a problem. Colonel Strayer has not yet returned from some wedding that he's attending in London. Can you believe that? We're from the front here, and our CO isn't even in the same damn country.
You have a bigger problem, Lieutenant Dyke. You have men returning to action without proper cold weather clothing and not enough ammo. I suggest you take a canvass of the entire base. K-rations, as many as you can scrounge.
What about ammo?
There is no more ammo. Distribute it amongst the men as best you can, so at least everybody has something.
So they're already gonna go with the disadvantage. Yay.
And they're gonna fight during winter time also. When your enemy is not only like humans, like for example German versus
when the
everyone
elements,
else, but like Mother Nature is against you.
like when you can't fucking shoot correctly because your hands get frozen.
Yeah.
This area is known as Bastogne, strategic crossroads town. Now, Ike wants to make sure that the crowds can't use those roads. So we're going to put a perimeter around Bastogne, dig in tight as a tick.
We're a little short on ammunition.
Captain, you beg, borrow, or steal ammo, but you defend this area.
Okay. That's gonna be next episode, I guess.
We'll do what we're gonna do.
We're already
what do we have
fucked.
left?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they said they were not ambushed, but like that the Germans got on them.
What happened?
They came out of nowhere. They slaughtered us. They
You gotta get out of here. You just got here.
They are seeing this, and they know that now it's their turn to go there and do that. Yeah. With barely any ammo. Yeah, take everything.
Hey, that should be fun.
Yeah, I think so. Weirdly enough, that weirds me out more than fucking, like, Ross.
The crowd's had tigers, panthers, Ardennes infantry just kept on coming. You got any more mortar rounds, sir? We're real short. I'll try to make another ammo run if I can, but don't count on anything. Looks like you guys are gonna be surrounded.
We're paratroopers, Lieutenant. We're supposed to be surrounded.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but then that you need to like it.
I mean, he's gotta keep a cool head. They will have to face this. This is the job. I'm freaking out because we know, like, it's gonna be hell, it's gonna be terrible, and we might lose people. And they know that too, honestly. But he's in charge, so yeah. That's when I'm thinking, like, fucking put him back with his guys
Easy
for this.
company, yeah.
Crossroads. It's his guys. It's about to be hell. He needs to be with them.
Yep. I'll go with my boys.
This is where he's needed. I think it's best. He's good at it too, so.
Is the company moving to the woods near Bastogne without any...
Next episode is gonna be intense, man.
They lack winter clothing during winter time.
It's the mentality of there is no scenario, well, just like they said in the end, there's no scenario where we go back and we don't do the mission. They are fucking tough. I know, like, we follow them, like, so it's basically like the idea we get from them is that they were the toughest of them all. Not saying that everyone else, like, that they were the toughest. Everyone was pretty tough in this war.
Mm-hmm.
They did what needed to be done. But yeah, the vibe I'm getting from them specifically is that, like, they were always put in the worst situations. I was thinking about that in the beginning of the episode. Easy Company always ends up with those big missions. Like, I was thinking, like, maybe that's why he's late on his reports. It's because they always end up in those fights. They always have so much that they go through.
If you got a company or a division that is really just so good at their job,
you're gonna use them.
You're
more.
gonna rely on them more to do specific type of work, you know.
But like, no, that's the vibe I'm getting from the show. But really, since they were paratroopers, we talked about this, I think, last episode, when, you know, they basically, like, were sent again, and I was saying, oh, they have one of the worst jobs because, like, they're the ones sent first, and their mission is usually to allow others to come in so that everything else can move. So they are always sent in the middle of enemy territory. They are surrounded constantly because that's the job, and their mission is usually to take that group of Germans or of enemies and basically make an opening so that the others can come in. So they do not have the freedom of, you know, just thinking, oh, like, I'm gonna be with my guys and stuff. No, like, they are, yes, together, but it's still one group in the middle of everything else.
Versus the rest.
Yeah, so they don't have the luxury of thinking, I have the whole army at my back. No, they're not at your back.
You're making way for the army to get in.
So yeah, they had to be tough. Like, you gotta be fucking intense to just accept the idea of, like, I'm gonna start the war by jumping from a plane with a parachute who's maybe not gonna work. Like, everything could go wrong from the first second they get in that plane. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength of character, and definitely you're gonna face situations like this where you know you're going into hell. You're gonna be surrounded, but you still gotta do it because this is your job, and someone is expected to make this work, and now it's you.
Yeah. Speaking of strength of character, that episode was about what it is to be a good leader.
Yeah.
You know?
Not a
and
boss.
you made the difference between boss and leader. Usually, for me, when you say boss versus leader, the boss gonna give you work, but he's not gonna mingle with his employees, and you won't expect him to do the job. Like you had one boss at your previous.
Oh, you want me to talk about him?
Yes.
I can.
To talk the difference with a boss versus a leader.
I love. There's a not a meme, but there's a photo of the difference between boss and leader that I see all the time, everywhere on the internet, Facebook mostly. And as simple as it is, I love it. It's basically the boss. There's a figure sitting on the throne with a bunch of guys. He's just basically, well, I mean, he's sitting on this throne and it's a huge thing. Like it obviously weighs a lot, and everyone else is in the front pulling it, and he's the guy sitting on top just whipping at them, saying just pull. That's the boss. And the leader, there's no one sitting on the throne. He's at the front of the line pulling with the others. So he is showing them where to go, but he's going to do the job too. A leader carries the team, shows them where to go, focuses on everyone's strength, and helps them just put that to use. He understands everyone of the kind of how they talked about Winters. It's Winters. I gotta accept it's Winters. He survives this. The episode was about him, so it's about him. He survives. Okay. So how they talked about him in the beginning, saying that he never really hesitated to, go first, do things himself, and then others would follow. But he's not sending people to do the shit, that he wouldn't do. That's another thing I like about leaders. It's something I'm not saying I'm a leader, but it's something I remember learning when I was in high school and we did our first big project, the movie. And I was saying to some of my friends, like, there were stunts that we wanted to do, and some of the stunts were mine, that was fine. But if I wanted to give a stunt to someone else, I would always try the stunt first. And I used to say, I will never make you do something I wouldn't do myself. So
True.
if I'm not capable of doing something because I'm afraid of it and I can't do that, I'm never gonna ask someone else
to do it in your place.
Yeah. And I saw a lot of that in this episode, which I respect a lot, because this is when I learned that, and it's a good thing. It's a good idea to do that, and I started doing it back in high school. I kind of idolize that way of thinking of, if you want to be in charge, be a leader, not a boss. Help pull the weight, carry the team in the right direction, and just basically do the job, and others will respect you and they will help you out. Like, never do anything, like never make other people do something that you wouldn't do. Like this is all good signs that you're doing your job and your team is gonna be better for it. We saw in the beginning when they were fighting, like they said something about we were lucky, and Nixon, I'm gonna remember his name. Nixon said, like, luck, because he knows his friend. We know his friend. We did say, like, when you're a soldier and you're fighting and you're at war, there's a lot of luck involved, because no amount of skill is gonna save you from a bullet that you didn't see coming.
Sure.
It's not a fucking anime. Like, you don't jump away from bullets like that.
You cannot shift your organs to survive. But it's true that in combat, in wartime, everything, you need to have in mind that everything's gonna come to shit. If you have a plan, it's gonna come to shit. So you need to adapt. And since everything's gonna have to change every single time, you're gonna have to rely on luck. Yes, of course, your skills gonna come in handy.
But luck is important for individual people. But when you're the leader of a squad, you cannot, like, even though luck is important, you cannot rely on luck, because if you rely on luck, everything will definitely go to shit, and then what do you do? So yes, it will all come down to luck, but when you prepare for the attack, you need to put every bit of skill you have into making sure these guys will survive. And this is what I see from Winters. I see a man who thinks about his team first. It's never success unless everyone makes it through. So that's why I feel like every death, every wound he takes upon himself, it's a personal, not mistake, but it's kind of like defeat. Like, it's something he did wrong.
When you think about it, he is responsible for these guys.
he's in charge, so he says you go there. If you send someone, like kind of like episode 1 with I'm again calling him Moriarty because I don't remember his name, but when he told him, go over there, and he got killed. He knew, we talked about this, he was the one that sent him there, so his death was probably at the back of his mind, like I sent him to his death. I'm the one who ordered him to go there.
Yeah.
So since he loves them all, he cares about them all, and he wants them to survive, when he comes up with the plan, he really needs to be like, okay, what am I willing to do? If it's too dangerous, if it's putting someone in front of the others, I will go and do it myself. And then how do I make sure that this plan has every chance to succeed? Because you do not, when you're in charge, you cannot leave it to luck. After that, yes, things will happen. People will have to react, do their own job, follow orders, and your plan is going to go to shit, so you'll have to come up with something else. But every time that happens, he needs to really think about the best way to make all of these guys survive. It's a lot of pressure, and I kind of love that we also went with them to Paris.
Yeah.
And we saw him for a brief moment amongst the civilians and just mundane life and stuff, and we saw that, and he's not going to be the only one, but since it was an episode about him, we saw that all of these thoughts, these doubts, these second guesses, and even when he's writing his report and he might be thinking, oh, like something happened there, what if I had done it differently? Like all these reflections, they're always with him. They're never going to leave him. I'm even wondering, like, I'm pretty sure, like, years in the future, he could still be thinking, like, that one time that guy died, what if I had done something differently?
True.
You might not think about that every day for the rest of your life, but you're never going to forget it.
It might come up someday in your head again.
Yeah, because you're in charge. This is also the heavy burden that comes with leadership. So a good leader, I respect. I will look up to you if you do the job correctly, if you pull that rope. Not like my butt. You wanted me to talk about him a little bit. I have one good example I can give you. Not like my previous boss, who once did a photo op at the hotel and put on the uniform, our uniform, to take photos and show that he was part of the team. But as soon as the photos were done, he took off the uniform saying it was way too hot and scratchy. So, but we have to keep that uniform on every day and do the actual job. So, not like that. Do not, a boss will pretend that we're a family to keep you thinking like, oh, I mean, if they need me, I need to be there for them because we're a family. It almost sounds like manipulation. Like, oh, he's willing to do the job himself, but he doesn't actually do it. A leader will fucking put on the uniform and do the thing with you. So I will look up to those leaders every day, all the time. I love it. But my God, it must have been such a hard thing to do, to be in charge during those times, when facing this.
People's lives are at stakes and it depends on your decision.
Yeah, because like you talked about PTSD and how like they all came back with it. Like it's all a part of them now.
We can't say PTSD. It did not exist back then.
It was a sarcastic. It was a sarcastic statement because like, if you ask, like, I mean, I think in The Boys they did a thing about that where Soldier Boy was like, PTSD. They called it shell shock. Because like, well, it existed. It's just that people didn't talk about it, and I don't think it had a name at the time.
I don't think it had, and with the mentality back then, if you had it and had a after effect of it, most people would think of you like I don't want to say pussy, but they're gonna think that you're weak,
How come you can't go through
because,
this?
Men were expected to stand strong, and if you crumble because of the shit you went through,
and I mean, it doesn't mean you can't handle it. Like Winters did not go down like crying and shaking and all of that, but it's still a part of him now. Like he's never really gonna leave this place. It's gonna be with him. All his decisions he's gonna remember, and not just that, but like even more than just I'm in charge and my guys need me. It's also like his own personal hell. Like all of these guys are gonna come back with trauma from this, like memories from this, PTSD, just guilt or just self-doubt. Like some of them will do fine, better than others, but they will all come back with something from this for the things that they did and for the things that they, had to go through. If Winters had to, have this times 10 because he's a leader, that's one thing, but he also has his own personal hell. What he has to do, what he has to go through. He killed a kid in this episode, and Winters is the guy that ever since episode, 1 or 2, because D-Day was episode 2, he's been the one pointing out, like, kids, they're too young. Like, I'm pretty sure he was a coach. He worked with kids. It's like, he handled kids. He used to do this, and I think, in a way, I do feel like this is a part of his personality that transferred well to war, because he's used to being in charge of a lot of people at the same time and using their strengths and putting them in the right position and coming up with strategies. So I think it reflects well with his job now. But when you look out for those kids and you're used to seeing them grow and you want to send them on the right path, like you're almost like you're a teacher, like you care about them, you see this youth and you like that, like you like imagining maybe where they're going to end up, and then you transfer that to war. Yeah. God damn, like there's no future for a kid you kill. And when you compare it to like that kid in Paris that he saw, things had been a little bit different. This kid could have also been, fighting for his life or killing people. Like, what's the difference is that other kid that he killed ended up, being born in Germany. And at his age, he probably didn't really have a choice. Like, he was also sold this idea that you're fighting for the right reasons and this is what you need to do for your family. Like, this is duty. Like, the younger they were, I'm guessing, the less they really thought about what they were doing and why they were doing it.
Because usually they end up in the Hitler's youth. Yeah. So they were conditioned to believe that you're fighting for our greater good, You're going to be the best of the best and you need to do this for your great nation.
Or parents who will tell you, like, if you don't do this, like, you're not a part of my family.
They were trying to tell their parents if they did not follow this the ideology.
I know. So, the reason why they ended up there, not really up to them.
It's all because of circumstances.
I know, which is why it sucks. Like, if things had been different, like...
But just like the first or second episode when that guy talked to that German soldier who said, I went back I went back to the country because I had family there, but I was born in the US.
Yeah, if things had been a little bit different, that's history, History is relative. There's a lot that changes. Your enemy one day could end up being your ally the next day. Things change. And we actually talked about this recently in another reaction about how, back at the beginning of it all, we
don't have enemy. Just let me
yes, but I'm thinking about Vikings Valhalla. Yeah. When we talked about how, people who are fighting each other have ancestors who used to be in the same family. So at the beginning of it all, there were no barriers. We were all part of the same sort of group. And then history and humans and stuff, like, we changed and we created those barriers and now we're fighting each other, but there's not much differences between us and them at the base, at the beginning of it all. We're all humans, we all go through this shit, and this kid also wants to go back home and see his family again. He turned around and, like, that loss of smile, like, he kept switching it in his face for that of the other kid in the bus, like, there's no difference but the place he was born in. Like, that's it. But you're here with the gun, and if you don't shoot, he's gonna scream, you're gonna get killed. That's it. Yeah. You are in charge. You cannot make a mistake. So as sad and as fucked up as it is, you gotta go through that and just don't think about it too much and do it. That's it. I keep saying sorry. My English. That's it.
That's it.
I'm listening to myself after, and I cringe so hard because sometimes I'll just be repeating.
But you're talking about the decision that you need to make, because if you don't make
there
those
will
decisions,
be consequences.
Yes. And I mean, when I think about it, mostly I have this image in my head when I think it was during the Vietnam War, I guess, where a woman was sent with bombs or a kid was sent with bombs and into the army camp.
That's
and you
really
you
well.
need
Actually,
to-
that's a scene from the Pacific, I think.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of the Pacific when we figured out, like when we found out about the show, because we loved Rami Malek and we wanted to see scenes of stuff. We will probably react to Pacific after this, but
Probably.
But still, we have seen a few scenes, and I think that's one scene from the Pacific.
But I mean, during
so not Vietnam War, but
okay, not Vietnam War, but during wartime, your position will do any dirty tricks to get you. And sometimes those stuff are so horrible, like using innocent people, like children.
well, not everyone will do that, but I do.
No,
I
but
think I remember
you-
reading that in the Pacific specifically, they would do that a lot because the Japanese would do that. The idea of sacrificing yourself is like honorable. So, but we'll talk about that when we watch the Pacific.
Usually the people that you're fighting, they won't be against using dirty tricks on you to get you, and you need to and those times you need to make a horrific decision.
Well,
that
I
you
get
need
what
to
you're
live with
saying.
them,
It
you know?
kind of sounds like you're saying like be ready to also do dirty tricks to
No,
fight
but
back,
you need to be
but-
ready. But you,
No, I understand.
So, you need to be ready to do those tricks, and you need to be at the end. You're the receiving hand. Of
Let me
those
translate that a little, for my sake.
tricks. Speak for myself.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm hearing basically when you're in the situation where the enemy chooses to do something like that. So put kids on the other side. Although it's not like they put a kid on the other side. He's young. We also had on our side young guys who lied about their age and went to war. So
True.
it's not a dirty trick. It just so happens that the guy was young and Winters he saw that and he was like, you should not be here. You should be, going to school or looking at your future, or, I'm about to end your future right there. And if he was the type of guy to, help kids go through life and just keep going aim for the future and stuff like that, would go against everything he was. But still, if the enemy is prepared to do some shit like putting a kid in front of you, putting a gun in a kid's hands, or using civilians doing dirty shit, which that happened on every side, by the way. Like everyone, not every soldier, but like every army was responsible for its share of war crimes, let's be real.
Yeah.
So if you're about to face a situation like that, that's horrible, you just gotta think like this is not your fault. You're not, unfortunately, you have to, get rid of the enemy. You gotta make sure you live another day and your guys live another day. But it's automatic, there's gonna be guilt, but you need to tell yourself that you're not the one that put that kid there, You're not the one that did this. This is the circumstance that you were presented with, and now you gotta act with it. It sucks. And guilt is a terrible thing, a very powerful thing. So of course you're gonna go through that. But what do we say to that other than unfortunately it was not your fault?
It just ended up with the fact that you need to try to be able to live with your decision. Despite everything else,
The episode being Crossroads makes sense because that's exactly that. Like in the moment of when you have a choice, when he was about to shoot the kid, do you shoot the kid or do you not shoot the kid? If you decide to shoot the kid because if you do that, that means your plan is going to work, or you're going to save your guys or whatever, or you save your own life. It's a choice that you make, and now you live with that choice.
But if
you also got to think that if you didn't make that choice and did something else,
you could end up dead. Your guys could end up dead, and vice versa.
And I mean it's the same at the end when he chooses to follow them. Like that's another thing. Like it comes with. I was thinking about it on a perfectionist level of. Sometimes when you want to make sure that everything goes smoothly and you could do the job well, you want to be everywhere at once. I do have that problem.
So like that also.
I have that problem, but that's the only way I can actually relate to this a little bit. I did a project when I was in Cégep college. Again, it's a movie because I studied in film. And I was the director for that project. And I remember, the director's job is to help everyone else and just change, face every problem. And it actually comes close to being the leader of the team. So, and I remember I was like, I really wanted to look into everyone's texts and ideas, and I read all of their papers before they went to the teacher. I helped correct their mistakes. I felt like I needed to be everywhere, because if I did not look at one paper, for sure there was going to be like an error. And that wasn't because I didn't trust the people that worked with me. It's just because I'm the type of person that when I'm on a project, I need to be in charge.
If not, you're stressed as fuck.
Yeah. So I don't think it's that with Winters, but it's still a vibe that I saw in this episode of when suddenly you're not in charge of this company, you may feel that if you're not there to do something, things will go wrong. Yeah. So it's, it's something I kind of understand in my own way. So I saw it there, and that's why I'm glad he followed them in the end, because honestly, I think he would have stressed over this the whole time. It's a terrible situation that they're about to be thrown in, and there's no one else.
But what's gonna happen at Bastogne? Because those guys who came back, they were just...
they were not ambushed, but sort of ambushed.
So in shock, you know?
They were just attacked and fucking massacred. So yes, like they're freaking out. But what worries me is that, they managed to take their ammo, but this is going to be a huge thing that we're going into, and we barely have anything. Like, they really set next episode up to be intense.
Barely any ammo, barely any food, no winter clothing at all. None of them has gloves, and I see snow.
Well, yeah. Next episode is Bastogne, and then the breaking point.
I said mostly as a joke, but I wasn't wrong when I said that when you're fighting, yes, you have your opponent that's gonna shoot at you, but the element is your enemy also.
This is also really bad, yeah.
I'm pretty sure a bunch of them died in winter time.
Yes, and elements and the weather being against you, this is actually, if I remember correctly what I read about the Pacific, was one of the reasons why the Pacific front was one of the worst. Because of the weather, the condition. So fucking hot and humid and just miserable all around. But yeah, the cold is also fucking bad. You're holding that weapon, metal weapon, with hands that you are shaking. Like, how do you aim when you're shaking? Your body will... I don't know how cold it will get, but we live in Quebec, so we know about snow and all of that. When you can't feel your hands because they've grown numb, how are you expected to fucking handle a gun correctly?
Yeah.
Or, if your feet get numb, if you have no boots and stuff, and your feet get cold, you can't feel them anymore. How are you expected to run correctly?
You're gonna have frostbite. You might lose your toes.
You might lose a few things. But yeah, that's gonna be next episode. I'm a bit afraid.
Oh.
I know it's gonna get intense, but kind of like them, we gotta go through it.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next episode right away, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out. The link is in the description below.
Yeah, and the next one will be on YouTube next week.
Yes. Bye, guys. Bye.